Hi, this is Craig Metrowich for VideoCelebrityNews.com, and I'm in Cape Town, South Africa on a beautiful, spectacular day with Mount Everest summiteer Ronnie Muhl. Ronnie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Craig. Great to be here.
Isn't it a spectacular day? Ronnie, let's get all these people in here. Let's get these people in. They want to be in the background here. You can see they're all in Cape Town, South Africa. Let's just keep turning. All right. Say hello! All right, this is why we love Cape Town, South Africa. Ronnie, earlier on facebook.com/Metrowich, we did a live intro, so please go and check that out, in which we just went into some of the points that we wanted to now flesh out in this uncut extended interview. Ronnie, let's talk about Mount Everest. How did that go? When did you do it? Let's start with that, setting the tone. That was obviously a big deal for you. When did that happen?
Yeah.
Take us on that journey.
Well, you know, it started way back. I read a book about the first two gentlemen to summit Everest without supplemental oxygen, and I remember writing down in my diary that I was so inspired by their story, and I wrote in my diary, I want to climb Everest.
So you see, writing it down. When I'm doing my business coaching, and too often we don't write things down.
Yeah.
So you writing that down was you saying, this is a commitment that you're going to go for it.
It's part of the commitment, absolutely. And I mean, I was living in the UK at the time. I mean, it was a crazy dream. There was no ways that I was going to get onto a £1 million expedition run by Chris Bonington or whoever. And but I kept that dream alive, and I think that is eventually I had that opportunity of going there in 2006. Turned 150 vertical meters from the summit, turned around.
So let's go there. I mean, that takes courage to first of all go there, go through the process and the preparation, to not make it, to be turned around at 150 meters from the top.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you then, dig down deep and then go back?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that if a dream is big enough, then you've got to keep going for it. I think sometimes you need to be a little bit obsessed with a big goal.
A healthy addiction, I call them. Healthy addiction. Healthy obsession.
Absolutely. I went back the following year as the leader of a small South African expedition, and managed to summit in 2007. So that was 10 years ago, and it was a life-changing experience. It was just an awesome time.
From a South African point of view as well, it's if you understand South African Cape Town, I mean, it's sunny, it's beautiful here. We don't often get sub-zero temperatures throughout the country. There's a few spots that we do. So even the climatization and preparing your mind for something like it, it's quite unique. It's not like you're brought up in the type of environment which would be easy for you. Am I right to say that?
No, I think that's 100%. I think people who born and bred in Europe or in Russia, I mean, you get some amazing climbers coming out of that part of the world, and I do think they adapt themselves a lot easier. Much easier.
Then let's fast forward to the next time we met. We were going on to a radio show together, Smile 90.4 FM, in which literally Ronnie and I were sitting chatting just before going live on air on that show, and he shared with us, he said, Craig, I'm a bit worried. I said, what do you mean a bit worried? He said, I had a little bit of an incident to do with my health. So I said, well, what do you mean by that? Put that into, perspective. What happened?
Yeah, Greg, I think it was days before I went and that we had that conversation, and it was days before I went into a theater. And
not a theater as in a theater where you're happy, as in a musical theater, an arts theater, an ICU theater. It's more like it, right?
It was. I went and had major open heart surgery, 2 valves replaced, the aortic valve and the mitral valve, 7 days in intensive care. I mean, it was it was epic. I mean, nothing really prepares you for that. But then I think that is what life's about. I mean, is that sometimes what waits for us around the corner, we're not necessarily prepared for. It's an interesting path. I think it's got a lot to do with one's own destiny. and there's a whole lot of philosophical discussions we can have around that.
Correct, I'm sure.
But I think it's been part of my journey.
Has it strengthened your character now that you've bounced back? Have you reflected on it and gone, well, I made it through that, having massive surgery, and then being fit enough to continue pursuing your passion and your dreams?
Yeah, look, I mean, there's no question that I did a huge amount of self-reflection and thought a lot about life, because there is no question that heart surgery of that nature puts you into quite a depressive state. You've got a lot of bouncing back to do, and
I think also medically, the amount of probably medicines you got to take.
Sure.
There's a whole lot of chemical inducement that happens to get you through it.
Yeah.
That would also affect you from a mood point of view. And that's something that I always say is I don't do rah-rahs and blah-blahs. I qualify. I like to do a program where I come back every month, do a team build on a monthly basis, because it's not like some quick fix, you can do it rah. It doesn't work like that.
No,
and I mean, you've been through that where like on a daily basis, you got to get up and go, well, hang on, will I ever be able to climb a mountain again?
Yeah.
Will I ever be able to take a jog again?
Yeah, no question about it. Suddenly one has to take stock of where you are, where you're headed, and all the rest, and
what's important in life.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think as I said a little bit earlier when we spoke before
on the live show. Yeah, correct.
That just to deal with the trauma and to bounce back has been has not been easy.
It's a tough one.
It's been tough. Yep.
Right, let's now go into the whole Africa experience of what you wanted to announce on the show. Now, there's a completely different type of adventure you're heading off on, which is also a very unique adventure. So just to put this into perspective, today's the 27th of December. It's just after Christmas, just before New Year. We both thought we'd be happily on holiday. And when I approached Ronnie to do the interview, he said, look, Craig, if we're going to do it, it's going to happen now, because January and February, I'm doing some other massive adventure. Tell us about this new adventure that you're embarking on.
Yeah, I know. For the first time, we're actually putting the logistics together for a corporate organization based in Johannesburg. They are part of the umbrella of .co.za, .Cape Town, .Johannesburg. They work in that space, and what they've launched is .Africa. And
okay, let me repeat that. It says .Africa, so there is a uniqueness around it in the fact that you're going to be sharing this domain, domain extension, and it's going to put more emphasis on Africa, its uniqueness.
Quite correct.
Okay,
that's exactly right. And what we're doing is we are taking some of the .Africa team. We are driving through Africa to Tanzania. We are climbing Kilimanjaro. We're taking the
okay, so there is some climbing involved there, Ronnie.
Yes, there is,
I thought there would be something high altitude would have to be included.
Yeah, no, and the big thing is that the .Africa flag is going to go to the highest point in Africa, and then we are getting back into our vehicles, driving all the way to Addis Ababa, and in the late part of January, the African Union Congress is happening, and that flag is going to be presented to that convention, to that Congress.
So what I understand is this is more than just an adventure. This is an adventure with a serious message representing Africa. It's more than just an adventure, eh?
Very much so. And so the rollout and the activations of the domain and the name .Africa in these different African states, they're going to be dignitaries involved, presidents involved. I mean, it is a massive issue, and I think that it's been initiated by a South African company, and the idea is to unite Africa from an internet perspective a lot more than it is, and to give the opportunity for a lot of people who can't afford to be on the internet, because my understanding is that this is going to be so affordable for everyone to use.
And I mean, that's important, because I mean, look what we're doing. We did a Facebook Live, right? Go and look at that. It's facebook.com/Metrowich, in which, as I said to Ronnie, it's quite amazing. 10, 15 years ago, I mean, you would have to have a massive film crew with specialized equipment, and you'd be doing like a satellite link, etc. Not being outdoors, beautiful Cape Town, South Africa, and be able to do it in this vlogging style. Ronnie, one or two more questions just to like, also I want to touch on the importance of this adventure that you're heading on. Africa, am I right to say, we need to, all of us, give it the proper positive exposure that it deserves? You know, not just the negative stuff we do see, and there is a reality, there are challenges,
Yeah.
but there certainly is a heck of a lot of positivity to share about Africa. So let's do a turnaround, Joe.
Absolutely.
Cape Town, South Africa waterfront. For our tourists, that's Table Mountain in the background. Isn't it beautiful? You can see some tourists here looking at the water, the boats. I mean, it certainly is one of the most spectacular places on the planet, without a doubt.
Yeah.
The hospitality and friendliness is second to none. Local is lacquer. We are friendly people. We do welcome you to our country. You know, come and enjoy the beautiful settings here. And we have extreme conditions as well. So if you like a bit of mountaineering, there are a few mountains, not too high, nothing like Everest. But there's no doubt the weather is phenomenal if you love the beach going activities. And if you like hiking, as an example, Table Mountain's got some wonderful hikes. So Ronnie, one or two more questions before we finish off the interview. Where do you see 2018 going? Are you going to publish another book? Craig, I'm going to be doing some biographies. How about something with National Geographic? I don't know. What are you going to do 2018?
I mean, you know, our business, Adventures Global, has you know, it's getting stronger by the year, by the day, and we've got a huge amount happening. So we've got Kilimanjaro in January. We go back to Nepal to run an Everest expedition, to do some treks to base camp, and then we're off to Peru to go and once again visit Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu, which I know is phenomenal. I mean, that's on my to-do list. I'd love to do a Machu Picchu.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. So we've got a lot of that happening this year. I would certainly love to do some more writing.
Yes.
You know, I've written, besides my Everest story, 2 little inspiration books.
Yeah, which I've read. In actual fact, I've read the inspirational book as well.
And
I would recommend it.
I would, I want to write more of those and roll that out over time. But yeah, just I think enjoy life. You know,
that's it. That is it. Enjoy life.
You know, we're all getting older. We never know what lies around the corner. So I get up every single day. Never take Cape Town for granted. Never take where I live for granted. And I think gratitude is an important thing for me. Great
starting point in anybody's life, having gratitude. All right, so we're going to wrap up. I'll tell you why. We've got a boat coming through here now, so it's going to get a little bit noisy. But I wanted to say thank you, Ronnie Muhl. Everest Summit here. Now an African adventurer doing something really important for Africa. Thank you for your time, especially your holiday time, because I know this is the festive season.
Right, good.
And my last message for everybody is share the good news, share the positivity, share the positive about Africa, and please go and check out Video Celebrity News. That's a wrap.